you sharing that story. Okay? I do mine quite different than Gidget, but mine is a fit for my personality. I'm an aggressive person. I don't do anything to minimums. That's just me, okay? That's just me. I've always been told that leaders don't work to minimums. I consider myself a leader. I need to be better at being an inspirational leader after this training. But I've never worked to minimums. So that's not the way I operate my business. So I'll just share with you kind of what I say. So at the very beginning of the show, I always say, let me just first take a moment. We're going to get started. Let me thank my host, Erin, for being so kind and hosting the show with me. And then I'll usually say something about give it up to Erin. She's done such a great job in getting so many of us here. And then let me take a moment to thank each of you guys as our guests for joining and helping me to make the party a success. I want to start by giving you a quick introduction of myself, and I promise I'm not going to bore you with my long life history, because I'm sure you're not interested in that. But my name is Ellington Boyce. I'm a mother of 2 boys. I have a 20-year-old junior in college, and my baby Calvin is a sophomore in high school, just turned 16. And I'm here to tell you, if we would have had the baby Calvin first, he would have definitely been our only child. And I get a lot of laughs about that. On a full-time basis, I'm part owner and CEO of mental health facilities, where I employ about 75 people. So that's what I do full-time. I joined Pampered Chef roughly 8 years ago. I really joined because I thought they had some really cool products, but I'll be very honest with you, I was a horrible cook. I was kind of one of those moms, when I told my boys it was time to eat, they go to the door because they knew that I did not need one in the kitchen for me. If you ask my family now, they'll tell you Mom can put a really good meal on the table. So that's been the true blessing for my family, but it's been a phenomenal 8 years with the company. I got my first check, it was roughly about $700, and I make as much as $6,300, $6,400 in a month, okay? So if you're in a need for some extra money, this is something that you may need to consider. The other thing that I love about the Pampered Chef is that I get all of these fabulous products absolutely free. It's pretty nice to come home and those things are just on my doorstep. So if you love kitchen products, this is something you probably should think about doing. And the thing that I'm probably the most attracted to with my business are the fabulous vacations that I've earned. And I've been fortunate enough to take my family on 8 vacations. I've earned one every year that I've been in this business. And we get to go, we get to enjoy it, and not have to pay anything for it. So that is my true attraction to this company. So I invite you and encourage you to watch what I do over the next 45 minutes, see how much fun we have. And if this is something that you could see yourself doing, we're going to definitely visit a little bit later in the show. That's my opening, okay? My reason for sharing these things, and I have consultants and I have other directors that have said, you know, I'm just not comfortable sharing what I make. You know, I don't know that I could say those things that I earn. Some people feel like that's being boastful. But let me just tell you, my whole goal is to connect with every single guest there. So if you're someone who was a horrible cook, I just gave you permission to do this business because I was too. If you're a mom sitting there that think I could never do this because I work another job, well, guess what? I do too. If you're someone who's never traveled, I'm letting you know this is something you need to try because we're going to help you to travel. Okay? If you're sitting there struggling with paying your bills, I'll let you know this is not minimum wage money.
That's right.
Okay? I want you to know that you have the opportunity to make really great money with this company. And I also point out a lot of times in my show, because that's just me, you know, we make as much as people with a master's degree make, working a lot less hours. So I think it's my job as a consultant to point those things out, and that's my whole purpose of telling my story at the beginning of the show. Okay? Then I go through the show, I do one-liners, and at the end of the show, I play the card game religiously. Some people refer to it as the ticket game. For me, cards have just been my thing. You know, I don't know that there's any magic. I probably do it just like everyone else does. I usually do 2 door prize drawings at the end of the show. And then I introduce, I just kind of, my segue into that is, okay, anyone that did not win a door prize, don't fret, I'm going to give you one more opportunity to go home with a free product, okay? Now I'm going to tell you a tip in what I do with the free product. Do not give away a citrus pillow or a Season's Best cookbook because no one has any motivation to participate in your game for that. Okay? Invest in your business. I personally, at the very beginning of the show, when I do introductions, there's there's always someone there, every show that I've done, that mentions the mix and chop as a favorite. What do I do at that point? I stop my introductions, I get my mix and chop, and you can best believe I make a huge ordeal out of that. Why? Because I know at the end of the show what I'm going to give away. Okay, so I'm already setting my guests up for them to be very interested in that product or to want that product. Okay, so at the end of the show, I pass out the cards, and it's very simple. It's nothing complicated. I give every guest there a card to participate or for being there, and I say, okay, we're going to play this last quick game where our food is finishing up. The object of the game is you're going to try to earn as many cards as you possibly can. The more cards you earn, the better your chances at winning. Now listen to me, the winner is not based on the number of cards you have, it's based on the number of points that you have in your hand. So sometimes it's just the luck of the draw. But remember, the more cards you have, the better your chances at winning. Now how you earn the cards is, you have to ask me questions about my Pampered Chef business. Not about any of the products, because I'm not going to answer that or give you a card. It has to be about my business. Okay? And you need to be very direct about that because you are in control of your show. You need to be the one to dictate what you're wanting them to do. Okay? And they're going to do that, I promise you, if you do. So I let them know they have to ask questions about the business or they are not going to get it. We're going to play for a few minutes. You can ask as many cards as you like. It can be as personal as you want. At the end of the game, I'm going to say stop and we're going to total up the points. Now, and I look at my guests and I say this because you got a lot of people sitting there like, I don't care about your business. You can just see that demeanor in their face, okay? But I also have those that I can see that are interested. But I'll tell you, this has been huge for me because I'll stop at the end of the show and I'll say, now, I'm going to tell you like I tell everybody at all my shows. Even if you're sitting there thinking, girl, I could care less about your business, the smart thing to do is be to still ask questions because the winner is going to take home this mix and chop. And what do you think everybody does? What? The mix and chop. So that lady that was sitting over there all guarded because she's not interested in my business and not going to ask questions, I can just see her shoulders go down and she's thinking, oh, you're right. I want that mix and chop, even though they don't feel like they're interested in my business. Am I getting what I want? Absolutely, because the information is still going to get out. I say, are you guys ready? Go. And I can tell you probably 98% of the time, I don't have one card left in my hand at the end of the game, and people are still asking questions. Okay?
That's 52 cards?
That's the whole deck of cards, and I use the Pampered Chef cards just like this.
Everybody's got one card.
So at the beginning of the game, as I'm explaining the directions, I'm giving everybody a card. Okay? So immediately, I mean, even before, a lot of times before I can get the instructions finished, someone has already said, how many shows did you do? And what you'll find, you get the same questions at every show. It's just my job to get really good at answering those questions. Now, do I answer them in a timid way? Absolutely not. I am very confident when I answer those questions. People want to be a part of something great. I have a great team, and I'm very, very upfront about that. We want you to be a part of our team. So don't answer, oh, you know, I make about $500 a month, or I make $2,000. Be excited and be thrilled and be confident and be ready to share what you make. That's what people are attracted to. So be very confident when you're answering your questions. I think that's a huge difference in some people who may experience good success with it and with some people who don't. Okay? And I've done this same thing. I've been in the top 5 in the company 4 of my 8 years. I've been an Excellence Award Achiever in recruiting for 7 of my 8 years. And I've done the same thing, you guys, for at least 6.5 years. I have not changed from what I've done. That same story, my story may have changed, but the same rundown of my shows, I've done it at every single show. Woo!